Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Today, we're going to talk about something that makes me happy, makes me laugh, happy, and does not really tick me off. It is Chester, a lovely, lovely little town in England. I had the pleasure of visiting Chester 7 years ago, about. Yes, it was. My gosh, how time flies. I was visiting a friend, and that just happens to be where he lived, so I ended up there. Before we go into the pictures, look who's here. It is meteor advocate Timon. Chester in Brazil means something different. It's a bird roasted for special dinners. And I answered, ha, yes. I will not say no to that. Everyone likes a bird roasted for a special dinner. Now, this trip to Chester is going to start a little bit back at the airport, but dang it, I found some extra pictures where I decided to fly out to the Orlando airport first and spent the night because the way my flight was leaving. And then I went to Sunday Mass at the airport. They actually have a very small little chapel. And then I got on the airplane. But let's get our bearings first. I should have gotten a picture of that because it's got a cute little chapel there. I'll show it again because I would go to Mass quite frequently when I would fly out of Orlando. Part of the reason why it was good to fly out of Orlando was because of Icelandair, but we'll get there in a second. Where is Chester? Well, where the dot is. Right next to Manchester. In England, the very north of England. Here's a bit more of a close-up. Manchester's here, the big old city. Chester, here it is, itty bitty little town. Very, very close. Don't let the map confuse you. Close to Liverpool, too. I found when I was there that there were Liverpool Football Club devotees and Manchester. Not to mention Manchester City, Manchester United, Manchester City. This is where we are located. Boom! I was in the seat of Thor, the god of war and thunder and protector of mankind. My goodness, I'm surprised they still say that. Protector of mankind? How sexist of you. Icelandair down here. I took advantage of the flyover to Iceland. That is where you can get some pretty good deals if you stop in Iceland. The idea, I'm sure, that you will spend money when you are there. This time around, I am going first class. But don't get triggered if you see that the first class flying over to Iceland is not some of the luxuries you will get if you go a little bit further. This is more like first class you'll get in the United States in a domestic flight. You don't get the beds and all that because it's really not a long flight. I flew from Orlando to New York, and I caught the flight from New York to Reykjavik from there. And on it, they have, a different god. I got Thor because I'm awesome. So here I am. Wow, they gave us some Icelandic water. So yay. Shane, I'm jealous of you because, oh, by the way, hello, it's so good to see you. It's been forever. And I'm jealous of you because when I was in Cork, I don't know if you live in Cork, but in Ireland, I was in Ireland. From Cork, they were having really cheap flights over to Iceland. Very close. Again, a lot of deals. They want people to go over there. Look at my trajectory. So here's New York. If we want to start over here in Orlando, I flew up to Orlando, New York. The reason why you won't see any pictures there because it's not too exciting. I had to take JetBlue. It was very straightforward. So I got to New York and then woo, there I go over to Reykjavik. You'll see I fly right over Iceland here. And I was given some sparkling wine. It was not champagne, but yay me. You can see these seats. This is first class equivalent to, I think they call it business class. They don't call it first class, but it is not a long flight. It's a 4-hour flight. I was able to very easily, of course, put my items under here. And I even had a special little footstool equivalent to domestic. Look, what does Timon say? Oh, hey. Well, hey. Shane Nolan says, don't live in Cork, but spent 2 summers. Blarney, actually. Oh my gosh. Well, I had my Blarney pictures nearby. Very close, as you know. When I was a kid, where we lived was close to the Cork airport. About 5 minutes. Let's see, you would head out past there when you go to Kinsale. Business, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Icelandair doesn't have a first class, but it's first class. If you want to take a gamble, what you can do is you can buy a normal ticket and then see if you can buy an upgrade. And often, if you can buy an upgrade, either the day of the flight or in some cases a few days in Icelandair, oh, it's a lot cheaper. My mother loves Kinsale. Oh, Kinsale's amazing. Just wait till I do my Kinsale Teresa travels. One of these days, I'm going to find a way to do all the pictures from my childhood of Ireland, but I'd have to scan them and do all sorts of stuff because it's a lot easier to do my more recent trips. So there I go. So I get, they greet you with a drink. I chose a sparkling wine. Look at this meal. Now, this is where you food porn right here. Just like Iceland, they have some amazing fish. You were completely treated to it. Over here, smoked salmon, some caviar on top of scallops, I think. I'm not sure what they are. I really don't remember. I should have written it down. I have no idea what that is. Maybe that's not fish. Maybe I got fish on the way back. Is that a steak? I don't know what that is. And then with some pepper stuff. So, these were some scallops, some mushrooms, some dipping sauce to dip in it. Look at the fancy napkin for my coffee afterwards. Some nice butter to go with my bread. And the dessert was a mousse. And I continued pairing. No, this is not sparkling wine. I am mistaken. I paired this with a white wine. I don't recall. Next time I go, I promise I will take pictures, but I won't be drinking. But I'm sure it was either a Sauvignon Blanc because that pairs really well with this, or it could have been a Chardonnay. I don't know. Travel, yay, says Philip Blair. Why, yay, great to see you. Thank you here. Meatloaf. No, it wasn't meatloaf. But it does look like meatloaf. Trust me, it was fancy. And it was amazing. Look at that. Gosh, that was good food. If you can go business or first class, do it. So worth it. Gosh, this is making me hungry just looking at this. Oh, unemployed in Greenland. Our plane went over the tip of Greenland. I was unemployed at the time. I had just quit my job. I was moving from Catholic schools into public schools. So technically, I was unemployed. And if you know The Princess Bride, you know the reference to being unemployed in Greenland. Me too, hungry. Well, there's a reason they're all so healthy, besides the fact that they walk everywhere. It's also they eat a bunch of fish, some sort of pate. Could be, but it doesn't look like it, does it? Because I don't like pate. You know what? Maybe I'll just Google. Maybe Iceland Air still serves the same food. Because now I'm curious. What the hell did I eat? Maybe I'll look through some old text because I was able to text my niece. You do get internet overseas when you leave now, and if you go business class or first class anywhere internationally, you get a free Wi-Fi. If you're not traveling, that you pay for it, but it is worth the money. Greenland looks fun. Yeah, it looks great. Inconceivable, Princess Bride, indeed. Couldn't resist. Couldn't resist. Speaking of not unemployed in Greenland, it is Shane Nolan. Field trip, everyone. Field trip. We're all going to meet in Dublin and we're going to tour Ireland. And actually, we'll kidnap Shane and pay him to drive because I can't drive in Ireland because I barely really drive a stick, let alone drive a stick with my left hand backwards. My sister can, I cannot. So, yeah, because that's the way to see Ireland. You don't want to see Ireland during the bus tours and all that, the stupid tourist traps. Nothing against tourist traps, but the real Ireland you need to see rough end. I was about to say something that sounded like euphemism. Hello, 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 hello to you, Sky Internet Fancy. And it was fun. And if you have someone that's on the same frequency as you, like in our family, we all have Apple phones, and part of it was my fault because I was the one traveling all over the place. You can chat with people. So I was chatting with my niece and my nephew, sending them pictures. My sister at the time didn't have an Apple, and I judged her. It's like, fine, then I'll just talk to the kids. I'm here to smash like button and say yo in the chat. Yo, well, hello there. Thank you for being here. Yes. So there I am, unemployed in Greenland, yapping with the relatives. Or if my sister wanted to talk to me, or she had to steal her kid's phone. So it's like, yeah, well, if you got your own. Breakfast time, but sort of not breakfast because it was only a 4-hour flight. So like they give you a meal, you pretend it's nighttime and sleep for maybe an hour, and then for breakfast, they gave me a nice little coffee, not a fancy coffee, and some creamer. Look, it says Iceland on there because we're going to Iceland. If you're wondering why we're talking about Iceland, it's because I took Iceland Air's travel stopover thing. A lot cheaper. It's a really good deal. You stop in Reykjavik, and hopefully you will stay longer. On the way back, I did. I stayed a few days, and that will be my summer Iceland trip. Steve Kenobi says, "Why hello?" And no, I said, "Why hello?" The leprechaun touch Freddy. They did it to the moor. They did it in the moor. Oh. Okay, Shane thinks that funny, but Shane knows you don't talk about the fairies. Hey, Steve Kenobi, I feel perfectly safe talking about fairies when I'm not in Ireland. Okay, so and please also note they give you a lot of space in here for your things. And look, it's in Icelandic. It's a lot of syllables that I don't know what it is. And they brought me a little croissant. So I didn't get a full breakfast. I got a full meal, and then I got a small breakfast. Yet Shane is agreeing with me. You don't. No, you don't. The good people, if you mention them at all. Philip Blair said, Sweden changed from left to right side driving in one day. Oh my gosh. Lots of preparation. Change was relatively smooth. Maybe Britain, Ireland, and Japan will switch over to. Oh my gosh, that'll be the end of the world. And hello, everyone coming in. I do appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe early and often. Oh, See on the napkin it says Iceland Air. Oh, and then they gave us a little bag, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. Oh, it's some facts about Iceland. I don't know what Luftslag is, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It says and then you get some surface circulation, all this, and then they say, please feel free to keep this bag and add it to your collection of aeronautical memorabilia. Oh, that's nice. I believe, believe it or not, this is the barf bag. So if you're barfing, you can get information about Iceland. I did keep the barf bag because I thought that was awesome. I keep wanting to call you Copacabana. Copacabana. Hey, when are we getting that Kerwin hand signals breakdown video from Clothing Connors? Oh my gosh, I am making it, but it has become a beast. It has become a beast. I promise you, I will get it. I will get it done. Real life has been coming in. I actually had to spend a day with an orchestra the other day, and I really have broken down the hymn to St. John the Baptist, showing the syllables and then showing the aliens and how they're doing it. But can I just say, with all these these aliens and UFOs around, I'll be the one who can talk to them. So come see me. Philip Blair says, I just looked up the date. Sweden switched on Sunday, September 3rd, 1967. Souvenir barf bag. LOL. Yeah. Iceland Air and Iceland in general will give you some of the best, most coolest hospitality. Why? Well, guess why? Because that's what they survive on, that and fish. They want people to come and have a great experience. Some of the most amazing hospitality I've ever had has been there. Hey, look, we're about to land in Iceland. Isn't it gorgeous? We're landing in the city of Reykjavik, but this is the way the coast looks. If you didn't know better, you might think Ireland because it's all green, but the terrain gives it away. Philip Blair says, aliens like these, yep. If you've seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, you know. To tourism and seafood. Mm-hmm. Darn right. I'll tell you, it can sail. That's what that's for. Oh my gosh. So here I am at the Reykjavik airport waiting for my flight to Manchester, and I need something to eat because, as you saw, they only gave me a friggin' croissant and coffee. I forget how long my layover was. It was a few hours. Look, brie, tomato, and basil baguette. What their quote unquote gas station food over there is enough to make a grown person cry. So I got this, and you can see it's in several languages. It says fresh. I think one of those is Icelandic. I don't know. I don't know my Scandinavian languages. So I got this to eat properly. And look, Sky or whatever yogurt. So I got some yogurt and a sandwich. Oh, I'm gonna come and name politician 2016. Wow, I might have missed the reference there, but would it have been 2016 or the one I'm thinking of is 1998. I want to see the Icelandic volcanoes. You know, I do have Teresa Travels Iceland. You will see them there. That was winter rather. Teresa Travels Iceland. Yay, Dan Blackroyd. Shane says to confuse invaders, they show up is a very cool closer from that. Oh, okay, they're talking about Greenland. Yeah. This is how long it took me to get to the Chester. We are getting to Chester. So now I have a little meal. And then boom, look at me going to Chester via Manchester. Because that's where the big airport is. When I have flown straight into Cork, I fly through Manchester as well because you can't take a direct flight to Cork. LOL. They provide food that provides nourishment. True. And then they're not fat. Imagine that. Gee whiz. What could possibly go wrong? In America, let's make everyone sit on their butts for 9 hours at a time and pour junk food down their throats. Philip Blair says Chester sounds like a cat name. Could. Like the Cheshire Cat. There's Manchester, or rather the northern England. This it does look more similar to Ireland. So rain and all. Flying into Manchester on my flight. I don't show off my flight here. It was very short, and I went coach. Speaking of Cheshire, here we go. This is a little souvenir Chester thing. Shows the area. And here we are in Chester. That's where we're going. Not to be mistaken for... Yes, you are correct. It was a Roman town city, and you are going to see here. You're going to see some really cool Roman stuff. There is a British soap opera set in Chester, Hollyoaks. Oh, I did not know that. Yeah. Why was I in Chester? I have a friend that lives there, so I was visiting him. That's how I ended up in Chester. For no reason whatsoever, I'll say both of us had come into a lot of money very briefly, and it had nothing to do with anything that happened at the same time. So I decided to spend it on this trip. Hey, look at this! This is something that this is a charger. It's the same kind of charger you'll get in Ireland. Actually, I bought this in Cork. I have all the different kind of cords to use that I carry in my travel case. And in Ireland, they have those big 3-pronged things. So that's what a charger will look like. But England and Ireland do it the same way. It's not rainy. Cool. Hey, Shane. Yeah, Shane, you probably have this because this is what a normal charger looks like. I thought it was so awesome. I made a video a long time ago showing all my different attachments. Maybe I should bring that up again. I think I privated it. Third one is for safety. Really? I did not know that. Did Chester used to be spelled Cheshire, like on that map? No, total different area. Cheshire is an area. Chester is a city, which, if you're in Brazil, means a cooked bird. Look, here we are in Chester. Look how awesome it is. You can see the old stuff part of it. There's like these Roman things all around it. This clock is very famous. Oh, thank you, Shane. It's a county. Gosh. Yeah, I would not have known that off the top of my head. So me and my friend, we went into town to kind of check it out. You can get a bit of a closer look. Across here's a bridge, some pubs. Or is that the pub or is that the... There's a really fancy hotel there. Loads of pubs. Once again, they can walk over there. It's like, gee whiz, I wish we could walk. I suppose you can in America, but you have to go live in like New York. It's like, no, thank you. There's the clock again. Gosh, isn't that awesome? There's a story behind the clock that I have no idea what it is. It looks like a movie set. It does. It's like you're stepping back in time. Can you imagine if everyone just dressed up in Victorian clothes? Wouldn't that be fun? This is me up on that little bridge where you saw previously, looking down into the town. So many places like this in Europe. There are some cars, but as you can tell, most people are walking. And we were able to walk. Let me see. See a nice sunny day. More detail. Look at this. Gosh, I loved it. I think, I'm standing right behind that little emblem thing we saw previously. Ye Old Boot Inn, established 1643. So if you go to a pub, it was established like for friggin' America. Sherlock Holmes on the case. I do have some pictures of the indoors of some of these pubs that I will show you. I don't know where they are. Oh, here's another view. This is around the Chester Cathedral. St. Werbuth or something. I'm going to totally butcher her. And I'll explain something about the Chester Cathedral, which is something you also need to know if you visit your England or Ireland about the cathedrals there. Shane Nolan comes in. The clock is the second most photographed clock after Big Ben in London, apparently. I believe it. It was a badass clock. I prefer walking too, or bicycles, or horseback. Oh, I wish horse. Yeah, don't get me near a horse. I'd kill myself. Let's see. And I still have from Chester Cathedral, I still have my souvenir pins. I always get a souvenir pin places in a tote bag, and I got a little teddy bear. Warburg. She was a chick. She's a saint. This is the fancy place, the Chester Grosvenor. You can get high tea there, fancy meals. Oh, high tea. Philip Blair says you don't feel immersed if you stay in cars and on tour buses. Correct. That's why I say if you can avoid not taking a tour bus, then don't. When I have gone to Cork over the last few years, sometimes I have, because it would be a choice of going to see West Cork or not seeing West Cork, because I can't drive. Was that 1643 too? Oh, I don't know when that was established. The Bavarian looking place, I mean. Oh, I honestly don't know. I'd have to look. I'll look it up later. Oh, 3 old arches. When was that established? Can I? Oh, I can't zoom in. Why is this called 3 old arches? Because there's 3 old arches in the flight center. Okay. I just love the way you're just minding your own business and there's all this gorgeous stuff here. Tudor house. Because Tudors. Is this a store? I forget what it was. There is a place that I joined even their little club because they had such good cheese. Oh, here's some heresy, blasphemy, McDonald's. When I'm in Europe, I absolutely refuse to go to McDonald's or Starbucks. Sad news is if you travel with kids, you might have to do that just to shove some food in their mouths. Here's some more of that. Look at this. All the old arches. Ye old McDonald's, says Timon. Yes. Cars just coming through. Ah, see, look, it all has its same little narrow medievally kind of thing going on. And yeah, you can only walk through. I just thought this was cool. The way the layout is, it's all the same. And steep stairs going down. Just awesomeness. I've never tried Starbucks. Good. Flip Blair says, imagine sitting on a street corner, time machine, picking random dates. Hey, look at this. It is an old-fashioned telephone booth. I didn't even bother checking to see if it was for real, though, or if it was just decorative. Of course, back in the day when I was a kid, they were for real. They were real telephones. Nice contrast. I think there's a few more. Yeah, we're going to see some more detail here in a second. Ah, it was at half-mast, the Union Jack, because the tragedy that happened in Manchester, actually, it shouldn't, tragedy's the wrong word, the terrorist attack where people were murdered at a Ariana Grande concert. It was horrible, and people died who had lived here. So I wanted to show it being at half mast. And someone in our fandom, 15-year-old girl, was killed. Ah, here we are. Remember I talked about St. Werburgh? St. Werburgh Row. This is outside the cathedral. Shane Nolan says, I saw an old Telecameron phone box. Preserved last week. Nice. I think they still have those on St. Patrick's Street in Cork, because I seem to recall. It was awful. Oh, really? Oh, sorry. I remember those Telecameron things, because that was the only way you could call someone if you were stuck, or if my mom wanted to call someone. It's like, that's what you had to do if you weren't at home. Philip Blair says there was funny news about British McDonald's last week. Stephen King, bleh, but that's okay. Stephen King tweeted about it. McDonald's removed a sign next to a crematorium that said something like extra crispy. Nice. Remember, a lot of these towns, these medieval towns, were built around the cathedral. The cathedral was the center of everything. Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, terrorism is still with us. Real terrorism. All right, here we are at St. Werburgh's Cathedral. Even though she's probably going, what, huh? And you'll see, I'm going to be careful. No, I won't be careful. Why should I? Let me put it to you this way. You want to go to Mass at St. Werburgh's Cathedral, the cathedral for whom it was made in 1100, you can't. And I'll show you where you have to go to Mass and why. But they do have a cafe there and a gift shop. Gorgeous, gorgeous cathedral. Inside the cathedral, again, these are very, very old. An old holy water font. Or a baptismal font. It would have been a holy water font. I don't know if they use it as a holy water font. Is that a Gothic cathedral? Don't quote me on that. I suck at that architecture. Everybody Google St. Werburgh Cathedral. Is it in a Gothic style? So this is gorgeous. It's just really sad for me when I go and see these things that are so much a part of my faith and I can't use them because they're not being used. Here's somebody's grave. I think probably one of the bishops. Here is an organ. Yay! We like organs. Check that out. Check that. This is a better organ. Look at that. Look at that organ. That is really intense. Good stuff. Stained glass window. Here's the whole thing. Yeah, that does look Gothic, doesn't it? The whole real long thing, and where the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass would have been. All right, we got something from Shane Nolan. We got Miss Martin Muse. Did you ever see the 1995 show The Choir about an old cathedral and its famous choir? No, but that sounds pretty awesome. Yes, sounds cool. I really like cathedrals. Oh, are just they're time machines. That's one reason why it was such a horrendous tragedy. What happened to Notre Dame in Paris? Here we are from the outside. I mean, we lost history. Here's the choir area. So where, well, the choir would be. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. See the division? They used to do that, and especially in English Catholic churches. If you've ever been able to go to the ordinary form, they have one in England and they have one in North America. Rare, I think more common in England, where recently the 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 Catholic liturgy as it was in England before the Reformation, before the suppression of the Mass, has been restored by Benedict the 16th, actually. Well, actually, Pope John Paul II got it started. Benedict the 16th got it going, said that you can validly do that and be a full Roman Catholic. And so, if you ever have the chance, and if you find the proper architecture, they will actually replicate this style Romanesque Gothic. Ah, thank you. We were close. Yeah, there's always like something weird and quirky in these places, and this is in a pew. Monk, it looks like having a pint. Why not? Here's a very, very old engraving of a crucifix. This is around the town hall area, and you see people have laid wreaths for. There's a makeshift memorial for the victims of the bombing at the concert. She was so cool. Ariana Grande, she paid for all their funerals, and the little girl who liked Once Upon a Time, they had like a fairy tale kind of princess funeral for her in the coffin and all that, but it was also just horrible that this young teenager, I mean, that it was something put together that probably should have been for her wedding, not her funeral. Yeah. Any gargoyles? No, I don't see anything. No, no, it's really sad. We covered it when it happened, and we were really effed up by it because it's one thing. Okay, it's always terrible when people die, but when it's someone that you have even just a passing knowledge of, maybe I'll put the article in my in my Twitter or something because I wrote in memoriam, or rather, I facilitated one of her best friends who wrote one for our site because I didn't know. I interviewed the person, but she did most of the writing. Oh, wait, was it her? No, never mind. I'll get back to that. Look at these doors. Look at these buildings. Oh my, I must go to my little house. Look at this. Oh yeah, it's horribly sad. You could probably Google it if you want to, but it's just so sad. I mean, the kid only just wanted to go to a concert, for crying out loud. Not be caught up in jihadism. Marmalade. That's the name of this tea house, I think. We can Google it. Marmaladechester.co.uk. Look, Centurion House. Housing for Oompa Loompas. Oh, I don't. Okay, here I am inside one of the pubs. I forget which pub this is, but look. I mean, look. They've been preserved. Perhaps some of the seats obviously are a little more modern, but the whole style and the way it is inside and everything, it's as it would have been. And I'm sure they didn't have television showing football. I thought this was funny, so I had to take a picture. Gin Decent proposal. It had all different kinds of um, gin and tonics and like, "Are you happy? Yes. Have a gin and tonic. Are you happy? No. Have a gin and tonic." Gin and tonic is a thing in England. The best gin in the world, if not the only gin, correct me if I'm wrong on that, it's from England, and you will have some seriously good gin. Yes, it was incredibly cozy, Philip. Mhm. Yes, it was precious. Everyone coming in and everyone watching on the replay, please be sure to smash the like button and like, share, and subscribe. Do they have a big fireplace? I do not recall. Oh, I've already shown that. The three old arches. Oops. Mad Hatters. I just had to take a picture of it. I don't even know what this store was, or was it a restaurant? It just said Mad Hatters, so I did. Hey, a cupcake decorating class. Maybe it was a cake shop. Oh, check out these houses. I mean, that's a serious mansion here. We took a book tour. We took a book tour. We took a boat tour on the water, and as we were moseying along, you can see these really big houses, um, and they all had little boats on these docks. I think you can see it here on the bottom, the steps here. So lots of rich folks around this area. The Kennedys used to own Gordon's Gin, really? Well, the more you learn, but that gin is crap. Bombay Sapphire is the best. I remember there was a time where I was very proud when Bombay Sapphire followed me on Twitter because I used to tweet about them so often. And every time I'd make a Bombay Sapphire, I have a Bombay Sapphire martini. I used to always post it on Twitter. Here you go. Here's a better shot. Check out that house. And there's the boathouse. Rich people. Is it royal property? Nope, just rich people. And I think that their riches were hell, they were probably factory owners. I'm just gonna make that up because it was the North. But yes, some serious money. Nope. I'll show you something in a second. Churchill House. Guess who was there? He was born there, or he lived there. I forget which it was, but Churchill. And then above there, the English emblem flag. So yeah, Churchill was here at one time. Okay, Shane says, and Scotch too. I forgot which one. Joe Kennedy brought them in the 20s during Prohibition. Yeah, made a lot of money. Shady. Look at that house. These are just small houses, normal looking houses. Gosh darn it. Slave trade, sugar, tea, coffee. I'm not sure by this point because I believe a lot of these were built in the after that. Catholic emancipation was 1929. 1829 rather. I think slave abolishment happened around the same time. Yay, Shane's bringing it. Churchill was born in Blenheim, ours. Charwell was his home with his side of the family. Ah, and finally, there you are. His house, rather. Okay. Thank you. I like Churchill's sense of humor. Yeah, we all do. What a guy. More beautiful houses. 1829, yes. Mm-hmm. All right. This is a little bit of the side story here. This is where you got to go to Mass now. You will find in England and Ireland, when you find a Catholic church that's somewhat old, it will not be older than 1830-ish because it was outlawed. And the cathedrals and all the other Catholic churches were seized and became property of the Church of England. I once actually fell for not the trap. No one was trying to make a trap. But when I went to St. Bridget's in Ireland, at first, I was like, "There's something wrong. There's something wrong in here. It just doesn't feel right." And then I realized, oh, the real presence is in here. There was no Eucharist, and it's the Eucharist. It's like radiation. When it's not present, you feel it. But yeah. On the other hand, what good would it do if they gave it back? I don't know. They may eventually, though, if their church falls apart. But I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. But a lot of people just don't know of that painful history. So this is a history of St. Werburgh's Catholic Church. So it was St. Werburgh's Church was, of course, originally the cathedral, but they kept the same name. When I show some of my pictures from Ireland from St. Bridget's, it was really poignant because you have the cathedral that I just talked about, and then I sought out the parish. Often you'll have to ask, where is St. Bridget's parish or St. Werburgh's parish if you want to find the Catholic Church. And at the St. Bridget's one, it had the St. Bridget cross, and it was painted green for Catholicism. And I just remember saying, that's history right there. And everyone, it's like, okay, this is where I can have where mass will be. And I'm not trying to knock Church of England for not having mass. They don't want to have mass. Okay, they would say they don't. It's like, yeah, you want to get the Catholic stuff, you got to go. What is Roman Catholic emancipation? Well, Google it. In England and Ireland and in other places, even in America, by the way, if you look up what happened in Maryland, Catholics were not free. Okay, it wasn't like, oh yay, we'll all just have religious freedom. No, religious freedom, it wasn't the right to have freedom to worship in the Reformation. It was worship as your conscience sees fit. It was the right for the king or whoever the state church was to choose whether or not what your state church was going to be. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. And it lasted 400 years. It was it's very sad. And it makes me sad because a lot of people don't know about it. And I'm not judging anyone because it's not taught. It's not taught. At least in America, it's not. Hello, Keck. Yay. Good to see you. Shane Nolan says that, sir, the Lord Privy Seal is on the telephone. Well, tell the Lord Privy Seal I'm currently sitting on the privy and can only deal either one. Shh, at a time, says Churchill. Yes. Outlaws are. Yeah. I mean, it was capital punishment if a priest was found. I mean, see, imagine that. We got priests that can't even stand up to people on Twitter nowadays, and you had priests that could get executed. They would be hanged, drawn, and quartered too, which wasn't the best way to die. So here we go. So here is St. Werburgh's Catholic Church. It's also very gorgeous, and you can tell they really tried to make it big. But you can't rival. You can't go back in time and make a 1,000-year-old cathedral. But it's a gorgeous church. I really enjoyed looking at it. Here's another view. I mean, if this were America, this would be like, oh my gosh, look at this church, because we don't have a lot like this. And look, there's St. Werburgh holding Chester in her hand. She's looking after y'all in Chester. I just found out today that Chester has a football team, not Premier League, and it's not even Championship League. I think it's like League 3 leagues down. But isn't that gorgeous? Love that girl. All right, moving away from that unpleasantness or pleasantness. It's really pretty. If you're wondering why I didn't get any pictures inside of there, it's because it was not open. And it was Saturday, I think. Yeah, because on this particular trip, I was not there for Sunday. I got there. I went to Mass at the airport in Orlando, got there on Monday, and then Sunday I flew back to Iceland. I stayed a week, and to stop through Iceland, that's where I went to Mass. And that'll be for my next Iceland one. Look, there's pigeons and water and bridges. It was a gorgeous day. See, look, everyone else is having fun with the gorgeous day as well. Oh, look, 12 traits of serial killers. No, that's my other stream. Houses with proxies holes. Now you in Sky Hall. Daniel Craig Bond movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, priest holes. Mm-hmm. There is a reason for it. Yeah, Shane Nolan, long story. Well, in my experience of it, living in Ireland, people didn't dwell on it necessarily because that's just not the way it was. You just got on with it, but never forget. Um, Philip Blair says it's nice to fill in those blind spots in awareness history. Always funny when the history is not fun. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, look up the penal laws and all that. Look up Daniel O'Connor, the great emancipator, or O'Connell rather, Daniel O'Connell, and that's why there's streets named after him. Big old street in Dublin named after Daniel O'Connell. Maybe one day I'll do the history of that. Yeah, yeah. I think he was the majority leader in. He was Irish, but I forget how he did it. He was also the Lord Mayor of Dublin. All right, I'll look up more details about him. At one time, I knew more about it. Yeah, priest holes. Phil Blair says, I always thought it was odd that Germans from Russia who were Protestant went to North America and Germans from Russia who were Catholic went to South America back in the 18. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. It just depends on where you were. Bavaria tended to be Catholic. Uh, Long story. I just get a little bit triggered when everyone says, "Wasn't Queen Elizabeth awesome?" It's like she was awesome for some people. There were some German, who fled to Canada after the Bolsheviks took over, who were Roman Catholic. Yeah. Oh, yeah. hmm That's why we get a little bit triggered over here when our government starts to clamp down on Catholics, because most people here in America, or a great deal of people that are Roman Catholic here in America, they fled England. And that's why they end up in Maryland, and sadly lost their freedom to worship until basically the First Amendment. Then a lot are from Irish descent or German persecuted descent. This chatter that's been going on lately about the Rosary and now the Latin Mass being subversive and treasonous, or against the government, or against radical insurrectionist stuff. The reason why we recognize it is because we know this song. We've lived it. Well, our people have lived it. But it wasn't too long ago. It wasn't too long ago. Remember, well, I wasn't alive, obviously, but 1920s, or right before it, the Cork City was burned down by the Black and Tans. So, by the way, if you're an American and you go to a pub in Ireland, please, dear God, don't ask for a Black and Tan. Just saying. Sheena said he had 250,000 people sew up a rally in Phoenix Park, and the population was less than 3 million. Oh yeah, Phoenix Park, love it. Gosh darn it, my Irish stuff's gonna be lit when I get there. I did Blarney Castle, which was rather straightforward, but yes. Hello, hey. Speaking of which, it's an Australian. Actually, not speaking of which, but hello, it's Sam McCabe. Hey everyone, good to see you. Hope you are all well. Yes, we are well. Hope everything is good down under. I don't know. Do you have a football club? Do you follow Premier League? Funny story. I wanted to get some Man United socks for my nephew because a lot of people here in America like Man United. I think it's the one that everyone knows about. And the guy was like, Liverpool. And so he's like, "There's an American who wants to buy Man United." And I'm sitting there going, I hope he's joking. And he was. He was giving me a hard time. Winston Churchill's right hand man was Irish. Yes. And of course, modern times has been, things have been different. But, you don't want to forget either. And when these things start to rear their ugly head, that's when you need to make your voice heard. Phil Blair said, not only Roman Catholic, but Protestants too fled to Canada, lost about. Yes. Oh, yeah. They didn't like any Christians. And they sure didn't like Jews. Oh, my gosh. Jews can't buy a break no matter where they are. Mennonites, too. Yes, yes. Well, Mennonites receive, bless them, they receive persecution from everybody. They had a live band. So I just caught a picture of this, and this just a lovely Saturday afternoon. Check out the gardens. As promised, some Roman stuff. This was an old a Roman town or Roman settlement, so you see a lot of Roman things they've excavated, and they decided it all belonged in a museum. Yeah, you still can't be prime minister in England and be Catholic. You know what? That might have changed. That might have changed because I think they have it that you can marry a Catholic and still be the monarch, but don't quote me on that. But yes, if you married a Catholic or worse converted Catholicism, you were immediately removed from the line of succession. And not to judge Tony Blair. That'll judge him just a teeny bit because you don't know what you're going to do in their place. The second he quit being prime minister, he converted. He had married a Catholic. You can be married to a Catholic and still be prime minister, but he could not be the prime minister if he was a Catholic. So obviously he wanted to convert. He wanted to join the church or go to the church where his family went, but he could not. Cautionary tale. The UK, Tony Blair. Oh, there you go. Right there. History right there. Let me know what it to and from. Well, he converted to Catholicism. I think he might have been Church of England. Yeah, he was C of E. Yeah, and that's where that's the thing about if you want to join the Catholic ordinariate in England and the one here in America. I think it's called the St. Peter ordinariate, the Chair of St. Peter in America, and I forget what it's called in England. But yeah, church. It's for Church of England and Methodists. But anyone can go if you're a Latin Rite Catholic. You can go. You can go to any valid rite. Yeah, I need to look it up and see if they've changed that about the. Can you be in the line of succession still? Look at that, though. Look at that. Chester Civic Trust Golden Jubilee. Oh gosh, this is reminding me of my book stream. I don't know my Roman numerals, but looks like 2000. Oh, whatever the heck it was. Whenever the Jubilee was, it's there. All the different symbols and lovely, lovely stuff. Oh, thank you, Meteor Advocate. Church of Brazil, also known as football. His wife cheers both. Her father was an actor in Coordination Street once. Oh, okay. 2010. Thank you, Timon. Thank you. I suck. People help me in my chat for the Roman numerals. Look, they are still excavating this archaeological whatever, but this is an amphitheater. It was all walled off, but you can see it. Let me get a better picture. Yeah, look at that. Look, you can see some of the original. And my cat won't leave me alone. Go away. Usually I can get rid of my cat by just bringing out the nail clippers, but I can't find them. Railroad. An industrial area. This industrial revolution was at the heart of it was here, and I'm on a little bridge looking over the area. Hey, you can see some of the original wall. That's the other thing. It's still a walled city. I think it's one of the best preserved. So you can really see the way it was back in the day. Oh, that's Blarney Castle. Oops. Why am I having this trouble? Oh, all right. I found it. We're back to Chester. They have a zoo. The Chester Zoo is world renowned. World renowned, I tell you, because they do a really good job of like having all this modern zoo stuff. Philip Blair says that the Church of England and the UK have agnostic clergy now too, or only Canada, justified by Jesus having 1 in 12 apostles agnostic. Oh, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever seen. I don't know. I When I swam the Tiber, when I became a Roman Catholic, I kind of left that behind, and not in the sense of because I want to be an a-hole, but it's not my church anymore. So if they want to have weird things in their church, go right ahead. I do know some people that are very saddened, though, and having to make some very difficult decisions. Not just Church of England, but in Methodism. Philip Blair said, I made a pretend walled city when I was little too. Aw. Okay, we've got it here. Shade Nolan bringing us the fact sorry. Apparently, you can't be king or queen, but the Duchess of Kent, cousin of the queen, converted to Catholic in 1994, the first Catholic since the Reformation. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, and I think she did. I think she was the one I was thinking about who lost her line of succession, but if she was even in it, I mean, she would be so far removed. Mm. Yeah, since 1688 was when they made that law. Agreed. Baby elephant. So gorgeous. Look at all those elephants. I endorse these elephants. They were adorable. And I couldn't take my eyes off the baby. I almost said a triceratops. What the hell is that animal? Really big, really awesome. Rhinoceros, that's what it's called. I know dinosaurs better than I know normal animals. Hello, everyone coming in. Please like, share, and subscribe because we're looking at animals. We love our animals here at Miss Martin Muses. All right, here we go. It's time for some food. I mean, some serious food. We did a little bit of the food on the airplane, but now food here. This was made by my marvelous host, the gentleman I was visiting. He looked after me very well, and look at the presentation. So this was my breakfast. Bacon, eggs with some tomato, scrambled eggs, and some toast. And he had it all laid out. It was lovely. Looks like a dinosaur. Yes, yeah, I'm going wrong. So that was my breakfast. Not to mention coffee and tea. Oh my gosh, I'm having flashbacks to how good this was. This was in that pub I was showing, where I had chicken pot pie, I think, with chips Vegetables, they would always serve vegetables with leaves, what carrots, broccoli, and then my ketchup came in like a thing. I mean, when I had ordered, because chips come with a lot of just about everything, especially in a pub, I had no idea they were gonna be that big. I could not eat, barely I could barely make a dent in this, and I felt terrible, and because you wanna be polite, but damn, I could not. I couldn't handle it. But dang, I should not do this around dinner time, should I? Alright, what's next? A cone with a flake. This was my childhood, and they had a little ice cream thing when I was along the park, and I was like, "I haven't had one of these, I think, since I was about 11." So, you have an ice cream cone with the whip, the ice cream is like this whipped ice cream, and, yeah, they put, like, red syrup on it. I don't even know what kind of syrup it's even supposed to be, and then they shove a flake inside of it. That's the only way to have an ice cream cone. We used to have an ice cream truck that used to come to our neighborhood. It was so much fun. A 99. Philip Blair says, "Christmas looking breakfast with all those bright red tomatoes." Yeah, that's just what they have normally. I mean, what's wrong with these people? What's wrong with us that we don't do those kind of things? High tea. See, here's my tea. And 3 layers. Oh my gosh. Little sandwiches, little pies, some scones, eclairs, cream puffs, and of course, tea. If you do not have high tea when you are in England, you do not deserve any happiness for the rest of your life. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, he says the ice cream truck still happens. Yay! Yeah, but mm, the whole thing with the flake, and 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 the ice cream over there tastes very different over here. It's so much better. Hmm. That was fun. So yeah, we had afternoon tea. And a fancy dinner. This was my appetizer, escargot. I paired it with a white wine. Oh, and we did pre everything. We had gin and tonics. I couldn't finish it though. Divorce, like, gee whiz, you're gonna have to carry me out of here if I drink all this. So I drank half my gin and tonic. I don't know. What is it about you English people? If there's an English person in the chat, do you have like an immunity? Or you can just drink gin? Because whenever I watch Poirot, they're always like, "Oh, just have a cocktail," and they're having extra dry martinis. I love escargot, so I was very pleased to have it. I might have to mute you all for just a second because I'm about to sneeze. Or am I? I don't know. I sneezed. All right, that's over with. Escargot. Oh, I skipped straight to dessert. Did I not take a picture of the main meal? Maybe I didn't. Creme brulee. Oh, this. Oh, and this was a friend's dessert. I don't know what it is, but it looks good. Fancy presentation. And then that was it. Yeah, it was myself, my friend, and his friend. A friend of his was there with us. Look, you got the strawberry, raspberry, apricot, and something else. Some chocolate and a little chocolate cake, I think, and some custard. Make it nope. Portions are smaller over there. It's like in America, we think, "Oh my gosh, you've got to have all this stuff, otherwise you're not getting your money's worth." This is all you need. Okay, what does Shane say? Generations and lots of practice. They asked Churchill how he drank so much. He said, "Years of practice." Okay, you heard it here first about the English and the gin. Oh, And that's it. That's my pictures of Chester. Ended it with some food porn. Wait till I get to France. Everyone's gonna go out and eat like everything afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Galatians 3:28. Yes. Well, and that's why in our First Amendment we were very, very careful. It's like there is no state church because I think everyone was done with it by that point. Right now, like a lot of countries still have a state church, but it doesn't have the control that it used to. For example, technically Charles is still head of the Church of England. It's still the state church, but obviously everyone else you can have your own church. They got Methodists, they got Presbyterians, all sorts over there, and of course other religions, Jews and Muslims, all that. But still, the state church makes things awkward. I don't blame them though. All right, I'm just throwing this out. People are products of their time. It was inconceivable at that time to not have a state church. And even when America did it, everyone was triggered. It's like that is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Right? It was very, very radical for us to do that. But that's Chester. That's Chester. I hope you all enjoyed this little tour. We'll be going about an hour and 15 minutes. I do enjoy sharing these. I think the next one I'll go back to Ireland. And the reason why I'll keep going back to Ireland between each one is because I have a hell of a lot more than other countries. And I want to break it up. These are all my digital ones. One of these days, I'll try to digitize all our old-fashioned pictures, but that's going to be a pain in the buttocks. Shane says, "Thanks, Teresa. That was fun." Well, thank you for being here. I love sharing my travels. Teresa travels. I hope to maybe again one day get my buttocks out there and taking pictures and all that good stuff. Sharing with people what I love and the history. COVID just threw such a monkey wrench into everything. Everything. And then life happened and all that stuff. Philip Blair says a Duchess of Kent being Catholic is a sign of goodwill, a separation developing there. Yeah. Well, I mean, emancipation's there. I don't think anyone begrudges it from the royal family because they have a whole bunch of traditions. As long as it doesn't overflow into people's daily lives, other people's, the whole live and let live. It will be interesting, though, to see what happens with William because King Charles has spoken in the past about maybe not wanting to be head of the Church of England but they're not there yet. They're not there yet. I mean, and rightly so because it's like, but I'll let them sort it out. Let me put it to you that way. I didn't know that. I don't know which one, but that's okay. Now my cat's trying to fight me. He thinks I'm playing with him. It's like, no, I'm not playing. Go away. But that's Chester. Let's see. Should my next one in Ireland. See, what did I do? I did Blarney Castle last time. Let's see. Should it be Kinsale? I'm going to roll for it. It came up. Yes. Yes. The next Irish one will be Kinsale. And there will be a lot of food porn. Oh, about the Duchess of Kent. I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there. It's there. And who knows? Maybe some of it will bring up the question: can they be no, not religious? What if they want to be agnostic? I think the Church of England, though, is probably pretty secure in that You got William, who's a Church of England. You've got George. Well, he's only like 8, but I think they'll suck it up. And who knows, by the time George comes around, who knows? The aliens they will already have come and taken us home. And then it won't matter. So I'm going to close off this party. Thank you, Philip, for being here. And Shane, yeah, thank you for keeping me company. I'm glad you enjoyed this little tour. We also had Timon, the meteor advocate, coming in. We had an Australian. We had a cat that's about ready to die. We had, oh my gosh. He's so big, he's part Maine Coon, and now he's doing the dead cat thing where he won't move. Okay, I got rid of him. Philip Blair. Oh wait, I already said Philip Blair, Shane Nolan. We had Zach's popping in. Always good to see you. We had Keck 44. Yeah, great to see you. And Copacabana or Copa Catania. He's been here. So has am I missing anyone? Oh, Jacob Ironstein popped in. Steek popped in from the future. Always good to get a report. Dan Blackroyd. And if there's anyone that I missed, I sincerely do apologize. It was not intentional. It's just a stupid, dumbass internet scrolling thing. It happens. So stay tuned. I will be having a video on Wednesday. It will not be the close encounters yet. I can't. I maybe actually be too busy having a real close encounters with the Solfege and the Kerwin hand signs. It will likely be another Lord of the Rings one, and if things keep going the way they're going, and I'm very happy, that was part of my New Year's resolution that I was going to try to do some regular content, and things have been favorable to me. I do want to continue growing my channel, so maybe I will start doing more than one. Maybe the Wednesday ones will be a Tolkien one, and then I'll do a Friday one. I don't know. We shall see. Cool travel tour. Thank you. Well, thank you. So stay tuned. There will be one Wednesday at noon a video. I might or might not be doing something tomorrow. The next topic that's going to be centered around will be the serial killers. Serial killers or a Catholic explaining. I'm still waiting for the FBI to walk it all back. Have they yet? Because, I have to Catholic explain the Mass. Why it makes us dangerous insurrectionists or something. I have no idea. But those are ones that I have gathered together. I think I've already done all the different psychopathies. Pride. Pride is one I'm going to put together as well. And as always, feel free to suggest topics. I like to, on my musings, it's make it open topic, but center around something. And I like to make it like history. I like to make it rhyme. Philip Blair said, I love Maine Coons too. My BFF Maine Coon passed away spring. Aw. I think about him a lot. Yeah, he's something else, but he's big. So when he does the dead cat move, when I'm trying to move him, it's heavy. The dead weight. Last time I took a trip far away, my camera still used film. Oh my gosh. Dang. When was the last time I had a camera that used film? Definitely the 90s. Because digital cameras started coming in. We thought that was the crap. And then we just found out we could do it on our phones. Well, no stream this Saturday. I'll be flying, so there will not be a book stream. Wanted to say that. Huge pause. LOL. Yes, massive pause. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. And be certain to not drink gin on an empty stomach.